You know, when I got here, these steps were only for contemplating, man. They were just suggestions. But pain was for obeying. That's what I listened to. And it turns out that both pain and the steps are God's megaphone in my life, man. Train wrecks and 2x4s got me in here, though. And I listen to them very, very loudly. And they encouraged me to work the steps early. You know, if Nancy Reagan telling me to just say no in the 80s would have worked, I probably wouldn't be here. If hangovers would have worked, I guarantee you I wouldn't be here. But they didn't. You know, my spiritual problem that led me to skewing my perception of reality with many different chemicals wasn't going to be fixed quickly either. You know, I think we have a microwave society, but a crockpot God. You know, it takes time. And I kept hearing here that we need to bring the bottom up for other people. And they did, because I heard people with a harder story than mine. But after working the steps, what I saw was that my sponsor brought the top down. So when I got to the end, all I had to do was reach up a little. And step 8 was very crucial in that. You know, I came to 1,000 meetings, you know. It didn't make me any better until I worked the steps. I can go to 1,000 PTA meetings and not be a better parent. So doing the steps is what actually changed me. And on step 8, making my list, I found stuff I was never going to make amends for. Stuff I do now, stuff I do later, and they all got made. And then I got to the very end and I remembered. You robbed that safe, dude. And see, I thought I got away with something 15 years before I ever started working the steps. I thought I got away with something and I won. No, man, I lost. Just because I got away with it didn't matter. See, I was justified in robbing that safe from that bar I worked at because they weren't treating me well. And I told my sponsor finally, I said, man, I shouldn't have to pay that, man. They owed me money, blah, blah, blah. No. I said, okay, well, fine, I can't afford it. He said, you can't afford not to, man. You can't afford not to pay it. And, you know, when I lay my head down at night, man, I'm telling you, it don't matter who's next to me. I can be alone, because when I close my eyes, it's just me and God. And I can't afford to have a stain on my spirit of any kind. Even if I'm right, it doesn't matter. And let me tell you, after I made that amends to that lady, who was not a real nice person, I expected to go to jail. But she said, why don't you come speak at my halfway house? See, God shows up in little places when we make hard decisions and do hard things in here. 5 and 9 have the biggest payoff, man. But I've got to remember at all times that God knew everything I was going to do. He made me anyways.